Welcome everyone to this learning on passivity theory in TA. The previous weeks we have learned about the history of TA, the ego states, transactions, strokes, how we can motivate people, and how we structure our waking hours to get maximum strokes. So they are all considered the positive or growth promoting aspects of TA. And you have written your first part of your exam also. Congratulations for that. This week we are going to start learning about the relatively negative aspects of TA theory. Or when I say negative, it means the theory that explains mental pathology or human ineffectiveness. So, then, as the name implies, it's about how human beings are being passive. So, let's look at the details of the passivity theory. There are various theories under passivity theory. Passivity theory and discounts is the first among them. Then we have games and games analysis, racket feelings and racket analysis, life positions, life script, script matrix, and analysis of script matrix, etc. We'll go on to them one by one. Passivity theory is a theory developed by Jackie Schiff and Aaron Schiff. The theory is saying that we face problems and we become ineffective in life sometimes, or we are not able to solve the problems we face in life because we are not using all our resources. Let's see how it is. The word discounting has come here. You know, the word discount means not giving value or reducing the value of. When you go to a shop for a discount sale, you get something at a lesser price than what it really is quoted. Here, what we are talking about discount is it's a psychological phenomenon. We are social beings. We don't live alone. We live in group of people. So our resource means we are our resources. So the discounting of ourselves and other people form the important aspect of discounting. So in situations where you need help, if you don't ask for help, that means you're discounting the possibility of help. It sometimes discount is affecting the situation. Every situation has something positive about it, something good about it. You need to look out for that. How can you benefit or make good of a situation? Even the apparently problematic situations have solutions hidden. So when you don't do that, we are not using our resource of the situation. So that is what passivity theory says. So according to this theory, all mental illness, all problems people face in life are related to our being unaware of our potentials or our colleagues' potentials or the potentials in the situations. In other words, we are not using all the available resources to us and we end up having problems. Now, the definition given by Jackie for passivity is it is unawarely ignoring information relevant to the solution of a problem. So, please be very careful here. It's very clear that we are not doing this discounting consciously, it is unawarely. So, this whole process of learning passivity theory is to help us to understand how we do it unawarely. What do we ignore? We ignore information about ourselves, others, and situations, which are our resources, and so we end up having problems. There are four classical behaviors identified by Jackie Schiff as passive behaviors. Doing nothing. I'm sure many of us have had this experience sometime in life. Either we have done it or we have seen people do it. When there is a lot of work to do, people just simply sit. Looks like they can't do the work. So that is called doing nothing about it. So the problem of work or what needs to be done gets undone and it remains as a problem. So doing nothing is a passive behavior. It's easy to understand that because we are not doing anything. There is nothing active about it. But the next one is tricky. Over adaptation. So any person trying to do more than his share to solve a problem is over adaptation. In any situation when we work with people, everybody has a share or everybody has a responsibility to do something. But if somebody is not doing their share of work, someone being more responsible and doing their share of work is also called over adaptation. Especially you can see this in some others. As children grow up, some others are hesitant to share the work at home, and the mothers end up working hard always, and work doesn't get done. Uh, House is in a mess. All this happens. So, over adaptation is also considered a passive behavior because the problem is not solved effectively, or it is interpreted as an ineffectiveness of the person who is over adapting. The person is adapting to the situation and working hard more than what is required. That is why it is called over adaptation. Now, the third one is agitation. Agitation also, there is a lot of energy being spent. The person is very active, but the real issue is not addressed in agitative situations. Some injury happened or some accident happened, people start blaming each other and calling each other names and not really doing what is required. That is also a passive behavior because the situation doesn't get resolved. Another way of passive behavior is incapacitation. Incapacitation means somebody becomes sick when there is a problem. The situation calls for action, but the person who needs to act suddenly becomes sick. As a result, that person is not doing what is required. Another way of passive behavior is violence. You can see violence is never a solution, especially when a problem happens, beating up somebody else or trying to kill the person whom you see as responsible for the problem is not a solution to the problem. You are only aggravating the problem. All the violence that we see in the world are probably extended ways of psychological incapacitations. Now let's understand discounts. Discounts, we learned that is reducing the value of something. Please understand that discount is always associated with grandiosity. It's probably the uh, reduced value for one aspect is added on as increased value for another aspect of it. For example, when there are two people involved in a situation, if one person is discounting himself or herself, the other person is attributed grandiosity. Or I am not capable of doing, but you are capable of doing. That kind of attitude is called grandiosity. Another concept in discounts is types of discounts. Types of discounting include the problem itself or the stimulus of the problem or the possibility of change in the problem. We look at it with an example later. Levels of discounting is also similar. The existence of a stimulus, the significance of the stimulus, the change options for the stimulus, and one's personal ability to intervene with the stimulus or correction of the stimulus. So, Putting these types and levels together, someone has designed a matrix which is very useful in understanding the process of psychological discount that happens in our life. Let's look at the discount matrix. You can see on the right side, the three columns show the types of discounts: stimulus, problem, and change possibility. On the left side, the left hand column, you can see existence, significance, change options, and personal ability to change. If we take an example, we can understand this in a better way. Let's take cough as a stimulus. So, cough may be there may be an underlying problem or sickness in cough. Cough is just a symptom or a stimulus. Cough may be due to tuberculosis or cancer or any major illness. And change possibility is the solution available for the problem. So, when somebody coughs, if that person ignores the cough, it is discounting the existence of the stimulus. When you are discounting the existence of the stimulus, everything else is totally discounted. There is a discount of the problem, there is a discount of the solution to the problem also. Another serious level of discount is significance of the problem or stimulus. So somebody is coughing and they are saying, oh, it's okay, it's not a serious cough. There, the significance of the cough or the stimulus is being discounted. When you reduce or discount the significance of the stimulus, you can see there is an arrow connecting that cell to the existence of the problem. When you discount the significance of a cough, you may be discounting the existence of a serious problem or the serious disease of which cough is a symptom. When you have discounted the significance of the cough, you have already discounted any possibility of doing something or changeability of the stimuli or treating the cough or the availability of a treatment for a cough. So now you can see the changeability of the stimuli is connected with the significance of the problem. So if you think the cough cannot be changed, you are also discounting the significance of the disease that may be behind the symptom of the cough. And when you discount the significance of the disease, you are also discounting the existence of any solution for that. So these diagonal arrows connect, those cells are connected or similar. Now you look at the personal ability to change options. The personal ability to change or do something for the cough. If you are discounting at that level, I have cough and something can be done, but somebody has to come and do something for me. That is personal ability to change. So when you discount your personal ability, you are discounting solvability of the problem. So your personal ability to react to the cough, like going and drinking a cup of water or going and consulting a doctor to take care of the cough, is a solvability of the problem is being discounted. Now when you discount solvability of the problem, you don't look for any options or ways of treatment, and your disease will continue to progress. So if you discount at the existence, it grows into major issues. All major problems that we see in our life happen like this. The symptom or the stimulus, when discounted, it leads to major issues. Beauty is when you become aware at any of this level, you can take up the problem. So when you take up the problem and think of doing something about it, or think of change options, or personal ability, when you take it up seriously, you are working towards a solution of the problem. You are not discounting then onwards. Then you actually work behind and reach and understand the depth where you really discounted originally, which led you to come to this situation where you have a serious illness. So, learning to be aware of stimuli and take seriousness at that point helps us from developing severe problems and being able to solve problems in a more creative way, in a more manageable way. Now, games is another passive behavior. There is a definition given. We'll learn about it in detail in later, but I'm just leaving it here for you to think about it. It's a series of ulterior transactions ending in a prefixed payoff. Series of ulterior means unaware. So please go back and refer to what ulterior transactions means. Discounting is also about being unaware. So look at how unaware transactions happen and slowly leads into severe problems. Like we learned earlier here, discounts discount at this level leads to problems at this level. So many of the games that we end up in are happening due to ulterior transactions or discounts or psychological discounts, which lead into prefixed payoff. Means it's because we have decided to be sad or angry or some kind of experience that we have at the end of a problem that we get it. We'll learn about it in detail later. It's a complex thing, but understand discounts for the time being. Go back and look at ulterior transactions and how you could bring them into your awareness. There is an exercise given in the theory sheet I have given you. Draw a discount matrix and take any problem that you faced recently and find out in which cell you have made a discount. Go back into the cells to and fro, and you will understand how you could have probably avoided the problem or how you would avoid the problem in future. All this ineffectiveness and passive theory we are learning to understand how we have been doing it in the past so that we don't do it in the future. Thank you. See you next week with more learning. If you have any questions, please post them in the group or send personal messages to me. We can have a discussion on it when we meet together as group or individually. See you. Bye.